Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today we're going to be talking about the Vision Pro again. It's been a while, but I finally got Vision OS 2.0.1 because I didn't get it right away. I installed it, and I've been fooling around with it, and it's not going swimmingly. We'll talk about that in a minute. I want to run through the new user interface features, some of which are quite nice, and a bunch of the other little things. It's a big update. They've changed a lot. Now, it doesn't all work for me, so as I'm telling you all this, in general, you should be watching a Vision Pro capture of the thing I'm talking about happening, but it won't always happen because I normally film those first. I couldn't get some of it to work. So I'm shooting this, and then I'll go back and try to fill in, and hopefully I had to update the operating system on my MacBook Pro in order to get that to sync with the Vision Pro. Even though it said it was the right version, I had to get a more recent version. It's a long story that you don't want to hear. I'm just going to go through, and if there's not a visual over me of a Vision Pro capture of what I'm talking about, well, you'll know why, because I couldn't capture it because it wouldn't work for me. Let's get started. The main things they've added to Vision OS 2 are user interface tweaks, a lot of them very, very nice. For example, instead of hitting the digital crown to get your home screen to appear and go away, you can just hold out your hand and tap your fingers together, and that will do the same thing that pressing the digital crown would do, so you're not constantly fumbling, reaching for your head. You can just hold your hand out where you can see it and tap, and then it'll close again. And they've added new environments. Bora Bora, which you should be looking at right now, and Lake Vrlanga. I don't even know where that is. You can also now, just like on all the other iOS type devices, you can click and hold on an icon on the home screen, and now you can move them around. Some of them can be deleted, some of them can't because they're system type stuff. But you can move them, you can set up different pages. The Mac Virtual Display feature has been improved, not as far as it's going to be, because if you saw the announcement, they're going to have a big wraparound ultra-wide version. That's not available just yet. That's going to be like in 2.1. But it's coming, hopefully this fall. But they did improve the resolution of the existing way they were doing it. If you're in an environment and you have a Magic Keyboard, the keyboard will show through the environment so you can type. And any Bluetooth mouse will now work. It doesn't have to be a Magic Mouse. It can be a good mouse. In Messages, and perhaps other apps, but I know it works in Messages, if you just stare at the microphone, it will come on and let you dictate, and then you can just click tap to send the message or edit it, because it never understands me. The new Photos app is supposed to do spatial photo conversion, where you can just display a photo and there'll be a little icon up in the upper left corner to convert to spatial, and it'll convert any digital picture in your library to 3D. And you can now edit videos right there in the Photos app. Not spatial videos. For that, you have to go to Final Cut Pro. But just regular videos, you can trim them. It's not full editing, but you can trim them. It's kind of cool for quick and dirty stuff. Safari has made some improvements too. You can now pin tabs. So that if you have a tab you want to keep there, you can pin it and it'll always be there when you open Safari. And to make up for YouTube being a meanie and not having an app for the Vision Pro and shutting down Juno saying they violated their terms of service, which I don't think they did. Let's not get into that. But they've killed Juno, which was the best YouTube viewer. But now you can use Safari, and when you go into full screen, you can get really nice looking videos. And if you're in an environment like one of the lakes, it will reflect in the lake below. So it looks really cool. And in Safari, there's now a listen to page for pages that support it. It's not all pages. In fact, some apple.com pages don't support it, which I find a little amusing. And better yet, if you go into the accessibility section of the control panel, you can turn on live captions, where Siri will basically give you captions for everything that's going on, which is quite amazing when it works. You know how these things are. Another quality of life improvement, especially for those of you with spouses or roommates or best friends, Vision Pro will now remember one guest. So if you set it up in guest mode, it will remember those settings so that the next time your friend or spouse or whoever it is puts the Vision Pro on, they don't have to go through the whole thing and show their hands and do all that stuff to set it up, because it'll already be set up. That's a major, major improvement for, again, couples and people with roommates and stuff. Now, just one guest. So if a second person does it, it will then set to them, and then they'll be able to put it back on with resetting. But your first guest will have to go through the setup process again. Oh, you can now mirror the Vision Pro screen to an Apple TV or an iPad or a Mac or an iPhone. I don't know. It's going to look terrible on an iPhone, but you can do it. And more importantly, you can AirPlay into the Vision Pro. So like if you're using your phone, it's kind of hard to see, even with the pass-through isn't that good. So it's kind of hard to see the phone, but you can now have a giant one up in front of you. Now you can't interact with it in the Vision Pro. You'll still have to use the phone for moving around and navigating all that, because you can't, but you can see what you're doing sharp and clear and big. So if you want to go watch some YouTube shorts or Instagram or any vertical video, TikTok type stuff, you can make your phone real giant and high resolution inside the Vision Pro and then do your scrolling on the actual phone. I'm not a vertical video kind of guy. I'm too old. Then they've had some other features. I'm not sure if you'd call this quality of life, but the Mindfulness app will now synchronize with your breathing. So as the little thing is pulsing, it will pulse in time to your breathing, which should help you meditate. Maybe. I don't know. Not big on meditation either. Although it was big when I was young, so I could have gotten into it, but I didn't. They've added trains to the travel mode. It's airplanes and trains. They still don't have cars, but for trains and airplanes, you can set it into travel mode. As the train pulls out of the station, all your windows won't go flying past your head and back in the distance behind you. Oh, they've updated personas. Now, I'm going to show you my new persona. Yeah, they're ugly. Well, I'm not that pretty to start with, but they make you even uglier. But now your hands show up. So if you're a regular viewer, you know I talk with my hands all the time. Well, now in like FaceTime and anything using a persona, I'll be able to wave my hands around and they'll show up. So that's kind of cool. They've also added backgrounds to the persona thing. So like in Zoom or all those other things where you can have your fake backgrounds. Well, now you can have fake backgrounds behind your persona, what you're waving your hands in front of. This next one is a good one. They've improved the battery life in standby. Anybody that has one of these, you know, if you leave it on and you go away and it's not plugged in, it'll be dead by the next day. Well, now it'll last up to a week. I'm not going to test this. You can go up to a week and then plug it in, let it recharge, and then it'll go another week. Because a lot of us who have these don't use them every day anymore. I was going to include some new apps that come out and some more immersive content, some of which is amazing. But I'm going to save that for another video, possibly next week or the week after. It depends on when iOS 18.1 comes out. Because when that comes out, then I can do my iPhone 16 Pro Max review finally. And that has not been going well, but you'll find out when you see that video. The next 2 weeks are probably going to be more Apple stuff. And then I'll be doing another Vision Pro video when 2.1 or 2.2 come out that have the wraparound stuff and other new features. So we got at least 3 more Apple videos coming, 2 in the next couple of weeks, and then another one October, November, don't know when. If you're very eagle-eyed, you might have noticed there's a crack in my Annapro head thing. Yeah, well, it turns out if you put it in this case and you have the battery up here, look where the battery lands. Right on top of the Annapro. So apparently I closed this too hard or something and I cracked that thing open. The good news is Annapro has a version 2 coming soon, I think next month. And I went to Kickstarter to order it. So it'll be here hopefully next month. And so then I will, this still works by the way, even with the crack in it. But I will have that next month. So there'll be a video about that. So there's lots of Vision Pro content coming. So, hey, subscribe. You never know. Well, so that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye. Now I'm going to go shoot the rest of this video on the Vision Pro. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.